Mom and Dad, I'm doing fine. You guys are on my mind. You asked me what I wanted to be, and now I think the answer is plain to see. I wanna be famous. I wanna live close to the sun. Oh, pack your bags, cause I've already won. Everything to prove, nothing in my way. I'll get there one day. Cause I wanna be famous. Na 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 na. I wanna be famous. I wanna be famous.
Welcome to the Animation Block. I'm your host, Ryder Mitchell, with another installment for the Animation Block. I know we haven't been here in a while, and honestly, I'm going to be trying to do more and more of these as, time goes on. Just within the last, I'd say, month or two, I'm sure you've noticed there's been a massive lack of animation blocks, and a ton of, your regular animation, Big Bang Network programs, right, including the animation block. But here and there, I'm really going to try to be a bit more consistent. But there's been some pretty big news out lately, and I thought right now was the right time to do another one and kind of bring the animation name back, the animation block name back. So without any further ado, let's get started with our topics for tonight. So starting off, we have our official confirmation for the Justice League, the animated Justice League, the new animated Justice League show that will be coming to Cartoon Network, my guess sometime this year. It is being titled Justice League Action, so we'll be talking about that. Secondly, we will be talking about the new Nicktoons movie that was just, kind of, I'd say, trademarked and kind of confirmed by Viacom and Nickelodeon, and we'll kind of be talking about what that might mean, and then we'll be ending off with the Gravity Falls, because that show is completely ending. We're going to be talking about what we can see Disney Channel doing next for animation, and what new shows and properties could happen, maybe some sort of Agent P or in Doofenshmirtz spinoff. Guys, I cannot talk tonight, but we're really looking forward to all of it, so let's get started with Justice League. So, many of you guys, you're big fans of the Justice League. Who isn't? They're so much fun. DC Comics' most iconic characters all together. And back in 2000 through, I believe it was 2006, we got two great Justice League shows. And the first one was Justice League, and then it, slowly graduated into its second show, which was pretty much just more seasons of Justice League, but it kind of evolved into what was known as Justice League Unlimited, which was just basically pretty much every single DC Comics hero and villain together in the same show, and it became awesome. And you had, in every episode, you didn't just have, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. You had, different assortments of heroes doing different things. And it ended up being phenomenal. And this was right after the Batman animated series. I mean, DC Comics, they were doing, and Warner Brothers, they were doing some really fun stuff with their, the DC animated brand name. And I think, that really worked out very well. Fortunately, we didn't get too much after that. I mean, we had the animated Teen Titans show, which that ended, pretty soon after as well. And then for a while, there wasn't too much there. You had, there was that Green Lantern show that they had. That was back in 2011. But the only really other big thing they had after Justice League and Teen Titans ended in, 2006-ish was Young Justice. And I loved that show so much that it had that same kind of feel. It was a little bit dark. It was just a lot of fun. I liked it a lot, and a lot of people still want to see more and more seasons, but pretty much after that, there was nothing really at all until Teen Titans Go came on. And Teen Titans Go, everyone's like, oh my god, a new Teen Titans show. But it was a different kind of Teen Titans show. It wasn't as much of what you'd expect to get out of, the comic books. It was a bit more like they mixed the names and the stories of DC Comics with, some goofier kind of Cartoon Network appealing, five and up kind of programming. And honestly, although, at times I do wish it had a bit more of a consistent plot, the show is pretty damn good, and it does what its job is. I mean, it was just rated and ranked, I believe, one of the top, in the top 5 list of best animated TV shows for kids from like 6 to 12 out there. So you can see that this show really does its job. It's a lot of fun overall. I mean, I gotta be honest, sometimes I roll my eyes at the jokes, but other times I laugh. And, of course, you still have to remember, these are still your characters from DC Comics. These are your characters in just a different form. So then back, I'd say, when was it? Like October, November, we got this picture from the Warner Bros. Animation lot or whatever, of all the posters for their new upcoming series, like Wabbit, Be Cool Scooby-Doo, Total Drama The Redonkulous Race, Steven Universe, all their big ones, right? And then you see JLA, and you see, it looks brand new. You have the shadows of Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and Flash all in the background, and everyone jumped. Everyone got excited. Who wouldn't get excited? We haven't seen a Justice League show in like 10 years, and 10 years plus, really. So it's been over 10 years, I think. So it's crazy. And there wasn't too much news after that, except for the fact that we knew that there would be a new show coming. Everyone thought, because it said JLA, those are the initials for Justice League of America. So everyone thought it'd be called Justice League of America or just JLA. It turns out that JLA actually stands for Justice League Action. And just, I believe, about 2 days ago, there was the confirmation and an official poster that was released by Warner Brothers and Cartoon Network and DC Comics for their new upcoming Justice League Action TV show, which would be on Cartoon Network. No official premiere date, but the fact that they already have an official poster, leads me to believe that they're working on pilot episodes and most likely, just regular episodes in general. By the looks and the tone of the animation, you can tell that this is going to be a bit of a lighter version of Justice League, but still feel more like a Young Justice and I'd say Justice League Unlimited kind of show. Unlike Teen Titans Go. If they would have made the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman kind of look like the same exact animation from Teen Titans Go, then you could assume that, the Justice League show might be a little bit more goofier, with the goofy kind of stuff, and, for much younger kids. But this seems like it's going to have those elements, those goofier elements, because I think that's really what's pulling through and entertaining children. And I think even, teens and maybe even, people in their 20s, 30s, however old you are. So I think that is going to consist, but I still think they will go in a more of a story-ish directed kind of sense. Each episode will be 11 to 13 minutes each, and there will be 2 episodes per, 2 quarter-hour episodes per 1 half-hour episode. So the same exact routine that Cartoon Network pretty much always does with all their shows. With Be Cool Scooby-Doo, they'll put 2 15-minute episodes in. With Super Noobs, they'll put 2 15-minute animated episodes. Teen Titans Go, 2 15-minute animated episodes in that 30-minute block. And then you get, if Teen Titans Go is having a marathon for 2 hours, you can get up to 8 episodes of Teen Titans Go right in a row. So it's really awesome. So that's going to be the same format. Same voice actors are returning. I believe his name's Kevin Conroy, and he will be reprising his role of Batman. Not really reprising, but revoicing the role of Batman. He's, been Batman since 1999, the Batman animated series. Pretty much all those original voice actors are coming back, so that's a really good sign. We're also getting some just typical DC Comics voice actors, and, it's really great that they're getting a lot of this original talent and this same voices that kind of brought them to where they were. But what we're getting is that we're getting a massive lineup of many different characters, and they said it's going to feel like, the Justice League is this 100-member thing, and there's multiple groups and multiple stories and multiple rosters that will be interchanged between these 11-minute episodes, and it's crazy. So, of course, our main ones are obviously going to be Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Those seem to be the main 3. Then, of course, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Cyborg, Green Arrow, Booster Gold, Blue Beetle, Dr. Fate, John Constantine. Also, Mark Hamill will be coming back as the Joker, which was a massive surprise to all fans because it's like, hey, he said he was done, but he's not, so that's awesome. There was also rumors that he'd be doing the voice for Man-Thing, so I don't know if Man-Thing's going to be in the show. Most likely he will. Other characters like Zatanna, Darkseid, Killer Frost, everyone is coming, and it's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait for this. This is what I've been waiting for. You do have to wonder, will the show kind of intertwine with Teen Titans Go ever? Like, will they ever kind of maybe come together? I don't know. It's a very interesting thing, and even if the animation looks different, it could be interesting to kind of see them kind of just swap back and forth. I guess as Supergirl, probably a lot of the characters from the Flash and Arrow as well, like Hawkman, Hawkgirl, the Atom, definitely Vixen, because Vixen's got her own animated thing on the CW Seed. Of course, that is in that Arrow and Flash universe. Hopefully we'll be seeing, White Canary and Black Canary. That'd be cool from Arrow. That'd be pretty cool because, the White Canary is usually a villain and not too well-known of a character, but now, she's a lot more well-known in Legend of Tomorrow and everything. You do have to wonder if they will do some Legend of Tomorrow things on that show, like maybe reference to a team of Legend of Tomorrow. Maybe the Legend of Tomorrow will become a team. Most likely Rip Hunter, because you do have Booster Gold. The universe can be ever-expanding now because, they have their movies and they've got their TV shows that they can pull and pick characters from. Other characters like Lex Luthor will also be in the show. It's going to be a ton of fun. So I'll be reporting news and doing reviews when the show comes out. As time goes on, though, most likely expect a fall release date for this show. That's my guess, like maybe late August, early September. Or, we could see a trailer released within the next month or two, and then maybe a early spring premiere, like maybe like April, May. Who knows how far they are in development for the show? That's very unknown, but the fact that they have a poster is pretty solid news, so keep an eye out for that. Moving on to that Nicktoons movie. It was just announced that there will be a Nicktoons movie that is going to consist of basically all of Nickelodeon's biggest and best characters from their past 25 history years, right? So you'll see like the Rugrats, you'll see Cat versus Dog, you'll see I don't know, Doug, Hey Arnold, Jimmy Neutron, maybe even Fairly Odd Parents, who knows? Possibly we could see SpongeBob. I'm not really too sure if they would want to do that because SpongeBob definitely does have his own stuff going on. But just think pretty much every successful, every big, older kind of 90s style, maybe early 2000s, those years of that great Nickelodeon cartoons, because I'd say Nickelodeon pretty much ran cartoons. Both Nickelodeon in the 90s ran cartoons, and I'd say maybe Cartoon Network pretty much has run cartoons ever since. But I really think that Nickelodeon has a really wide variety and a big library of characters to go to. And now, the whole premise of this movie was to kind of do what Marvel's doing and make this big shared universe thing. And a shared universe is always a ton of fun. You see Marvel started it and it worked out so well. Now DC Comics, they're doing it in their movies. Everybody wants to do that. Everyone wants to because you make so much money off them and you can have so much fun with them and putting movies together. It's something that is such an original thing. Now, I'm not saying you're going to see a Doug movie and a Hey Arnold movie and a Rugrats movie and then, after that you'll see, just a combined threesome. No, you'll see more of something like, it's going to be called Nicktoons, so you'll probably have these characters living in their own worlds, and then maybe there'll be a portal or some vortex from the sky, or I don't know, and they'll jump into it, and it'll take them to this thing, and they'll all meet in this one point, and it's like all these cartoon characters just kind of coming together, and that's what it's going to all be about, like this big, hey, we all live together, we're all in the same world, even if we're not in the same world, this portal has brought us to the same point, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do together. I don't know. There's no official release date, it's just was said that it's going to happen. There's no release date, which leads me to believe that it's in the earliest stage of development possible. You can maybe think that it could be coming out in, 2018, 2017, most likely not even 2017, but probably like 2018, 2019, that seems most likely. But honestly, I think it's an open book. I think absolutely anything could come from this. Any characters could be added in. I think, it's kind of almost what like Pixels just did. I know that film wasn't that great with, Adam Sandler, Josh Gad, Peter Dinklage. That was last summer. And in that movie, you had them, and it was basically this alien force sent all these the video game characters down to Earth or whatever to fight Earth. But like you saw, like Pac-Man and the Smurfs and Donkey Kong and all of the old video game characters kind of together, destroying the world. It'd be something kind of in that sense. Of course, you're not going to see the Rugrats destroy the world, but you're going to kind of see them all come together in that kind of style. You have to wonder, and I think it could be very successful. I think it's definitely going to draw back those older fans who grew up on the shows, and I think I didn't exactly grow up on all of those shows, those early '90s ones. Grew up on some of them, but not all of them. But, people who are in their, late 20s, early 30s, those are the people who are going to really almost want to see this film, not just feel like, oh my god, I got to take my kid to this, but more like, I want to see this, I haven't seen these characters in such a long time, and now they're making a big movie about them all coming together. I just maybe want to check it out, and that's, I think, what the general, audience is going to be. Just, I think, kids of all ages, adults of all ages, and I think that's really what's going to sell this movie hard. I'm looking forward to it, and I think that whatever they do with it, it will be interesting. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on that, but I'm pretty excited. And moving on to our last and, of course, final topic of the night. So, Gravity Falls, it's ending. It's gone for 2 pretty long seasons, and I'd say it's probably one of Disney's biggest hits. Animated hits, along with Phineas and Ferb. Those 2 shows, I'd say, were, the 2 biggest and the most modern, the Disney Channel modern animated shows. Disney Channels, they've had their fair share, but although I think they still might come out on top with live action TV, children's TV, I still think that they might fall slightly short of maybe lack animated program, and of course that's just because that's just not the nature of Disney Channel. But my point here is they don't have too many massive hits. Disney XD does a lot of cartoon stuff, but those shows never end up actually, not a lot of them, I mean some of them do, but not a lot of those shows actually end up doing that great. Gravity Falls and Phineas and Ferb are 2 of the ones that have done really well. And of course Gravity Falls, although it's very awesome, you guys thought I was going to say awful, not a chance. It's a very awesome show. I love it. It almost has like an adult twist to it as well. I definitely feel like older adults for sure enjoy this program. It's very creepy, but it's also very kid-friendly and very just friendly in general. And a lot of good jokes, a lot of fun characters, a lot of great and, visually pleasing to the eyes. But sadly, it's ending with a Weird Mageddon, Part 3, which I believe airs the first week in February or something like that. So I'll of course be watching it. Hopefully you guys will be too. But you have to wonder, well, what is Disney going to do? They've had both Phineas and Ferb and Gravity Falls end. Well, what are they going to do? I mean, of course they've got their Wicked World thing, and they have other animated programs, but nothing as big and as I'd say successful as Phineas and Ferb and Gravity Falls. So you have to wonder, well, could we eventually, or could we see maybe a spin-off of one of these shows? Now, the only reason I'd say we are not going to see a spin-off of Gravity Falls is because the creator of Gravity Falls, the guy who wrote it, I think he actually does the voice for Grunkle Stan in the show, but the guy who created the program, he did Fish Hooks as well, if you guys remember that show. That was a while back. But his name is Alex Hirsch. And Alex Hirsch, he is kind of involved, and his good friend, he does that show Rick and Morty, a bit more of an adult animated program. But, he's really done a big thing, and I think he just signed a deal with Fox to develop a new animated, more adult-themed program for them. So I don't know when that'll be coming out. Most likely something similar to, like, Family Guy, The Simpsons, those shows, American Dad, all of that. So it doesn't seem like he's going to be working with Disney too much after this. But what about the guys who did Phineas and Ferb? And you have to wonder, well, just as much as Phineas and Ferb were, two very successful characters, you had two other very successful characters. Perry the Platypus, so Agent P, and Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I would so watch a show that was focused just around Perry the Platypus, Agent P, and Dr. Doofenshmirtz, because if you guys remember, at the end of Phineas and Ferb in the finale, Doofenshmirtz, he became part of Oka, that's how it's OWCA, Oka, and he's just a fun character. Same with Perry the Platypus, and I think that I would so watch like a buddy cop animated program with them and these animals just going off and fighting crime. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be down for that. I think that those are two of the most really fun characters. They really did a lot of good backstory over the years in the episodes, and they found a way to keep it all, so fresh and everything. There's so many good ways you could do the show without even really bringing back or, having to use Phineas and Ferb characters. I mean, you could cameo maybe Candace or, Linda or whatever, their mom, but there's just a lot of big characters that they brought into Phineas and Ferb, that world, and I think that especially Doofenshmirtz and especially Agent P together and in their own show, I think it could be another hit. Really, there's a lot of kids that clicked with that show, and honestly, Phineas and Ferb, it started in 2007, and when did it end? I think it ended in early 2015. I'm pretty sure it did. So that went on for like 8 years, right? And you have 8 years. That's if you had a 6-year-old kid who started watching the show in 2007, well, that kid's now 14. So you could have a whole new source of children to appeal this show to, with Doofenshmirtz and Agent P, and also you can maybe even get back some of those teens, right, who watched the show from the beginning in 2007 and who want to see more. I think it could be a very successful way to do it. Otherwise, I just think Disney's going to pull out another idea, because Disney has a lot of ideas, and I think that, they will pull out another hit show. I don't know when, and I don't know how, but it will happen, most likely within the year. They definitely have a lot of other stuff coming on, and what things that are going to happen. I'm not too aware of their whole schedule. I'm sure there's a lot of you who know some of the new upcoming Disney animated programs or whatever, but for me, it's just... I do have to wonder, you have to wonder, could we eventually see more from these characters? And if not, what could be next? So I think my big question for you guys is that for Disney Channel, what do you see coming next? What could happen next? Where do you see the animated brand for Disney kind of going? And let me know. I know they also have that new show, The Lion Guard, right? That's kind of like based off of the Lion King. So maybe that'll end up being a hit. I haven't watched too much of it. I haven't heard too much about it either. I could talk about it in a future animation block if you guys want. But, I'm talking more on the level of Gravity Falls and Phineas and Ferb. If there's any ideas you guys have, let me know. Also, what are your thoughts on the new Justice League show and, of course, the Nicktoons movie? Let me know and let us know in the comments section. So thank you guys so much for taking your time to watch the animation block, another installment for it, and make sure you stay tuned for a whole big bunch more of the animation block coming very soon, I hope. So, but, I'm your host, Ryder Mitchell, and this has been the Animation Block.